The OSWAs 2023. That was so 4th of November. But not for me, I'm still milking the Best Whisky Awards weeks later.
And I fully intend milking it for all it's worth.
Now, from getting wrong, very wrong, my predictions, I decided not to do a post-awards rundown, but instead, let's do a YouTube crowd pleaser using Tier Maker and go through every bottle and give it a rank.
Man, where do you come up with this stuff?
Welcome back to GWhisky. I'm Jeff, chatting whiskey. Let's crack on. GWhisky. Now, I've already filmed a post-OSWAs video, but due to my slowness and being away at the Glasgow Whisky Festival, it took me a long time to get around to start editing it, and in truth, I was beaten to it by another handsome whiskey tuber, so I've decided to slightly twist it and alter this idea. Why not give myself more work? So I've made a template on Tier Maker and pulled in all the different bottles that was in the nominations this year, and I'm going to rank them on my own preference. And with this being my personal preference, you know it's right.
It's true.
I have also asked some other wonderful whiskey folk to go through and give their thoughts, which we can talk about at the end of this video. So first, let's make like the final minutes in the Iron Giant and let's see some tears.
No following.
I've just gone for the classic A, B, C, D and not tried. I don't think there would be anything worse than D tier, but we'll see.
Huge steaming ball of foreshadowing.
So we're starting with Best Value Whiskey of 2023. And we've got the Ardnamurchan AD, Arran 10, Bruichladdich, the classic laddie, Kilkerran 12, should have made these bigger, Leejay 10, and Port Charlotte 10. So let's go through and start chucking in my bottle rankings. So starting with the Ardnamurchan AD, I'm a big lover of this whiskey. It is just great. I think I prefer this to the cask strength offering. Ooh, is it too high to start straight off an A? I'm going to go with A, and then I'm going to see if it moves later. I should have really included an S tier. Right, next on the chopping block, Arran 10. I really do like Arran 10, but it's not, I don't know, maybe I'm just sucked in with the hype of Ardnamurchan, but I'm going to go B for now. Might change my mind. The Bruichladdich Classic Laddie, a whiskey I want to love, but my experience with it, I don't quite love it. It's definitely not D tier. D tier in this version is kind of like pretty duff. So let's go with C. Now on to Kilkerran 12. I love this whiskey. It has got a bit more expensive, but it's definitely for me, it's an A. It's an A. Yeah, definitely an A. Leejay 10. Ooh. I'm tempted to put this in B, but I don't know. Let's put it in B. It's a really solid whiskey. It's an amazing whiskey, in fact, and sometimes you can pick it up for like £38. I don't know if I prefer the Rioja cask, but yeah, really good. Let's go with B, and then I'm sure I'll move it later. Now onto the Port Charlotte 10. Possibly now my love for Lagavulin 16 has dwindled. My favourite Islay release. No, Lefroy 10 Sherry Oak, I think is my favourite. Or Ardbeg Ugadal. Or Wee Beastie. But either way, absolutely love Port Charlotte 10. That is going in at A tier. So that's how I've got the best value whiskey looking. Value whiskey is definitely my jam, but I will probably go back and move these as I go along. So let's fly on to best blended whiskey of 2023. We're starting with Chivas Regal 18. So this is a 40% whiskey, but Chivas Regal really is a really good blended whiskey in my view. You can pick it up currently for £59. And the OSWAs had it for 82. Not worth 82, but if we base it on £59, which is a fair price for this whiskey, that could almost be a B, but for now I'm gonna stick it into ooh. So if I put it in D, I mean it's not a bad D, so it's between C and D, but it feels a bit high putting it as a C. I think this one's definitely cooling for it. It's gonna go in the D category for now. Cutty Sark Prohibition, my dream whiskey. Says it's RRP of 27. I've picked it up, I think under 20 and £23. And yeah, I want to put it in A. Maybe it's a B whiskey. For now, it's going to go in B because A is like God tier. The Dewar's Double Double, 21-year-old, 46% ABV, 120 quid. A lot of people were like thrown away by this one, so I've luckily tried it. I think I've tried it twice now, and I did check back on my notes when OSWAs came around thinking, why is this here? And apparently, I think, is it Canada? You can currently pick this up like dirt cheap. So that's why it got so far, I think. So it shows how international the OSWAs have gotten and how different price points in different regions could really affect it. But yeah, it's going in the D. Johnny Walker Black, the 12-year-old. I'm going to put it in C, but it could very close be to D for me. I don't know, it's not the hype. Johnny Walker Green is really good. Johnny Walker Red is terrible. So it is in between them. Let's just go for D for now, and then I may change it. Maclean's Nose. Now, this was the welcome drink as we walked into the blind tasting during the Glasgow Whisky Festival weekend. I've got to stop going on about that. I'm really impressed by it. It didn't blow me away, and I don't know if the hype around it is mainly just due to how accessible the price point is. So when you take into price, it is very good. But the whiskey itself, it was fine. It was nice. It was pleasant. It's got all the good specs about it, but I don't know. I think that's going to be a C. The Thompson Bros, which one is this one? So this is the TBBSW, the 6-year-old. Very impressed with this. I don't think it's an A, but I think a B. It deserves a B. So Big Pete, so that's now we're in the best blended malt category. I'm a big lover of Big Pete. I think it really is just a solid smoky whiskey. But is it as good as the B tier? I'm not sure. C tier maybe feels a bit harsh, but yeah, I'm happy with C tier. Campbelltown Lock, 46%. Now, in truth, I thought this was going to be the winner for this category. It's very good value, and in my mind, I prefer this to the Springbank 15. I think I prefer it to Springbank 10. So I think it's only fair it goes into B tier. Maybe A tier? Nah, let's stick with B. A. No, we'll go B. So to the first one, Compass Box, no name. 48.9%, 105 quid. I've not tried this, but I can't see a Compass Box bottle getting that far in the OSWAs, not being amazing, but it just doesn't seem to fit. I don't know, maybe other regions have it at a much better value, or it really is that stunning a whiskey, but not tried. That makes it nice and easy for me. Now on to the other Compass Box, the one I have tried, Orchard House. This 46% bottle is just, whiskey cider. It is literally apples, and it is great stuff. I think I could put that in A. Yeah, I'm gonna stay strong and put that in A. So the Douglas Lane Gauldrons, 46.2%. This is a bottle that is a bit hit and miss. I've heard there is batch variation with it, but the bottle that I'm working through, some nights it's amazing, other nights it's pretty limp, pretty unexciting, pretty unenthusiastic. So it's not a D, but I'm gonna give it a C. There is a cask strength version, which is really good. And also I think there's a port version. But yeah, very good stuff. Maybe C's too harsh. But let's go on to the final one. The Thompson Bros SRV5 8-year-old, 48.5%. Not quite an A, but I could say this could be close. I'm going to put it in the B category. I think it deserves that.
Live it up, guys. You earned it.
Maybe down into C. Nah, let's go with B. It is a good whiskey. B for Bros. And onto that, it brings us to the best non-malt whiskey category. So starting with Blue Spot 7-year-old, not tried it. Didn't love the Green Spot, and the Green Spot, is it Chateau something indeed. Really good, pure white chocolate and sugar. But yeah, the actual Blue Spot, not tried it, makes it easy. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, 60%, 115 £115. Now I have tried Elijah Clay. Why? Why am I like this? So I've tried Elijah Clay. I don't think it's been the barrel proof because I don't remember it being such a punchy 60%, but I am going to base it on the Elijah Craig that I've had, which may have been this, may have not. I'm going to put it in C because it was fine. It was good, but don't know if I could put more than that. The Jack Daniel's single barrel proof 60%. I've not tried this one, so I've tried another single barrel Jack Daniel. Or have I tried this? No, I don't think it was that high ABV. And it wasn't great, but I'm pretty sure this one could be exceptional from what I've heard. In the not tried category, nice and easy. So the Loch Lomond Peated Single Grain. So I've done a review on this and I talk about it is a hit and miss. It is, a very complicated relationship with this one. Overall, it's very good, but I can't give it a B. It doesn't deserve the D, so I'm giving it a C. Simple maths. So I've seen the order, I've got a bit confused here. So I think it should be Wild Turkey 101 next. I think that must have been in 2 categories maybe. So the Wild Turkey 101, straight into B. Very good. It could almost be an A, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. But yeah, B, brilliant stuff. Well worth the money, especially in the UK. You can get it for dirt cheap. And talking of wild turkeys, the rare breed, I tried this at the blind tasting at Glasgow Whisky Festival.
You can stop going on about it.
I said I wasn't going to talk about it anymore. But yeah, it was good. Very enjoyable, very punchy, flavoursome. But it didn't, I don't know, it just felt a bit disjointed. Maybe it was just the situation, but let's give it a C. So I'm skipping best distillery, best new distillery, because I couldn't be bothered to put little images in here like that. I'm too lazy. And I thought, let's keep it pure bottles. So on to best world whiskey. So we have Blue Spot, which is already in the not tried. Nice one. Indri Trini. So I was super excited to try this and stop talking about it. But at the Glasgow Whisky Festival blind tasting, this is one of the blinds and I put it dead last. Like, this was the little blue icon one and it was not for me. Super cheesy, super lactic and slightly one note. Maybe I just couldn't get past that, but no, I didn't rate it. It should get C, but for me, I'm giving it the D. I'm sorry. Whiskey Tube, just shun me. It's gonna happen one day. So the this is going in D just because of that. The Cavalan Solist, didn't rate it. I've had a sample of it and yeah, didn't relate it. Is it the King Car they do? And the Conductor. Tried both of them. Didn't rate it either. So yeah, this 200 odd quid bottle, I'm putting that in D. Now to the Nika Yoichi, is it a non-age statement one? 45% ABV, £79. It is going into not tried. Not tried it. Simple as, makes my life easy. Powers John Lane. Recently tried this one. I've had a bottle for a long time and it just sat at the back of my cupboard just due to they've rebranded since I got that bottle, and the new branding I am not a fan of. But I have tried it. It is very good. It is on par with Dingle in my books, and I love Dingle whiskey.
Little dangle in your dingle, Prince?
So I'm going to give it a B. Let's go high. And then again, Wild Turkey rare breeds in this category, already up there. Makes my life nice and easy. So on to the big boy, the final one, the best Scotch whisky of 2023. So we have Benromach Cash Strength, 50% ABV or 50% plus they've put, so it could vary batch to batch. And it's a £60 whiskey, and that is going massively into B. Really, really good, but there is better Benromachs in my view. Like the Contrast series, some of them are amazing. But this one is very good, but yeah, not quite an A. Is it me, or is this tier looking like it's making finger guns?
God. Hit me again.
All right.
So the Bunnahabhain 12 Cash Strength, I did check my notes and I have tried this one. Better than the standard Buna 12. I've got a bit of an interesting relationship with that one. I think it was just a mouldy cork, but since having that bottle, that was a bit tainted. I've not returned to it, or if I have, it's been very, I don't know, I want to enjoy it, but it's just not for me. But the Cash Strength definitely bolsters some flavours. There's a lot of great things in B, and I think that's too much of a strength, too high to put it in there. Even though I thought this was going to be the winner for this year, I'm going to give it a C, just because it was very good, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not the big Booner man.
But I can guarantee that Pete's already eyeing up my Booners. Am I wrong?
Moving on to the Glen Scotia Victoriana, last year's winner. It's a good whiskey. But should it win? No, I was a bit confused last year how it won, but I think it's a very accessible bottle and people must clearly love it. So I am going to put it in C. It's very good. It's not great. It could be better. We're then moving on to Leejay 18. Now this whiskey, could fly up the ranks. Is it a C? It's better than C. Better than B. It's going to be an A. Like, this is probably my favourite 18-year-old whiskey, and that's a big statement. But yeah, absolutely lovely stuff. Port Charlotte 10's already up there. I was going to move it from B to A, but it's already in A. Well done, Jeff. You know what you're doing. So finally, we're down to the last bottle, Springbank 10. Now, I'm a whiskey tuber. I talk about whiskey, so by that regard, I need to put it in S tier for its own super Springbank tier. But cards on the table. I'm not the biggest lover of Springbank. What they're doing at the distillery is great. Their marketing or lack of marketing is, in my view, a marketing move. Very good whiskey, but I think the hype is more around the distillery than the whiskey itself, and more around the whole idea that is Springbank than the whiskey. I know the farmyard, the funkiness is very unique and it is very interesting, but I don't think I can give it a B. I think I'm going to give it a C, and I'm sure that will have my YouTube Whiskey Tube license revoked, but I'm going to stick with that. But let's dive in and talk about what other people have put. First up, we got Vin from No Nonsense Whisky. Very strong list, a lot of Bs. I'm surprised how many he's got on the not tried, like there's some bangings there. Campbelltown Lock, Ardnamurchan AD, Compass Box Orchard House, and it absolutely pains me to see Cutty-Sark Prohibition in there. I'm sure I'm going to help him change that. Apart from the Powers, I completely agree with his D tier. I have heard that the new Powers John Lane is nowhere near as good as the old, but I can't comment on that. Again, solid C tier. I'm surprised the Wild Turkey 101's in there. Not a bad list at all. We then move on to Ben, the Scotchtographer, formerly known as the Whisky Diary. He's got some absolute bangers in A tier. Even the Loch Lomond peated grains, that shows how well that stands up against bottles twice, possibly 3 times the price. Also super glad to see another person's put Springbank down in C. Also surprised to see the Thompson Bros so low down in D, but I think there's so many heavy hitters in A and B, you can't complain. Then on to my fellow bumpkin himself, Mr. Leejay Brown. Now he's chucked a lot into A, and fair play, there are some bangers in there. I'm surprised to see in D tier Arran 10's in there, and also the bottle with the design based on himself, Big Pete, is in the D. Interesting, I think everyone's put Leejay 18 in the top row. No wait, that's in B for Ben. So yeah, cheers guys for getting involved. I thought I'll bring, see some other points of view and use it as further evidence to prove just how right I am. So interesting stuff. This is all public now on Tiermaker. I'll include a link in the description. Do go through and put your thoughts in there, and then I can come back and do a video which shows like where everyone stands with it, and you can get some cool data from it. A massive thank you to my YouTube members, the Bottle Slap Club. All their support is going, it's just going back into the channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you've hated it, a dislike. I always enjoy doing tier videos. They're always like a good way to kind of compare whiskies and really makes you think about it. But all that's left to say is all the best and cheers to the next one. I haven't got a glass. Cheers.